Hello, hello. How is it going, everybody? I'm stupid. Welcome back to Behind the Curtain, the definitely not weekly series where I go ahead and talk about a week. Oh, I guess my time between this and the last one. And I talk about running theme throughout it, and basically all the stuff that's happened in my life. In between then, it's a fun little chat. Invite you guys to do the same in the comments below as well. It's been a while. And I'm gonna be honest, I don't even know why it's been a while. Well, I know partly why it's been a while, but basically, ever since, like, I started doing these, I always thought, like, bro, how did people not, like, people who do these sort of series, apostrophe, how do they not do them consistently? Like, it can't be hard to do them consistently, but somehow, something about this format of, like, more serious talking about just, like, life and whatever, something about it is, like, it's so hard to do consistently. Unless you push yourself to do it, and then you have nothing to talk about. But yeah, I'm back. I've had something to talk about for so long, but it's just, like, slipped my mind whenever I've been able to record it. It's crazy. It's mysterious how these things work. But yeah, I'm back. How's your guys' weeks been since I've been gone? How have you guys been doing? I've very much been, like, MIA the last, like, 2 months, apart from, like, a couple weeks ago. Like, I've just been gone from everywhere. Ask, like, all my friends. So I've just been radio silence, right? Yeah, I've been a busy bee. I was basically gone for a whole month because of the show I was in. Of course, if you've seen, I uploaded one of the songs from that on YouTube. I have two other ones, but I'm not too sure if I should upload them or not. But yeah, I was kind of gone for a month. I basically said to myself I want to put myself on, like, pretty strict vocal rest, so I wasn't hanging around with people. I wasn't joining calls. I wasn't doing streams. I wasn't signing up to events, any of that, because I was like, you know what? I need to do this right. I went into the show wanting to do something for myself for once. And that was kind of the mentality. We'll get into a bit of that later, of how that kind of panned out. But, yeah. How's it been for you guys? I'm trying to think what kind of point. I will have been mid-August last time I did one of these. So a lot of stuff has happened. A lot of stuff has changed in that time. I would say, kind of, from the overall stuff, like, things are quite, like, on the fence still. Like, the way situations are, you know, like, fractures in between stuff. It's still, like... It's still, like, you know, not great, but things are improving. You know, things are surviving, and we're kind of, like, getting through troubles and that sort of thing. So, I don't know, it's weird to keep it vague, but the hell is this? Hello? What is this? What? Hello? Oh, I see it. That's, like, the worst invis level ever. But yeah, I have to keep it vague. I apologize, but yeah, hopefully you guys kind of understand on that. It's a bit of a serious sort of thing. What? Huh? But yeah, it's been interesting. So I guess I enter the show stuff first, because that was kind of the main stuff. So yeah, I was ready for a show. I was in about 6 songs, and it was a lot of fun. I used to do shows when I was younger, but I took a long break, and I also never really had many, like, solo-y bits. And it was really special to be able to go back. I went back because I wanted to kind of prove myself and prove that I had something for myself. This is kind of the main overarching topic of today, which we'll get into in more detail. But I spent a lot of my time not focusing on myself, and I kind of realized that it's really detrimental, and that I wanted to do something for myself for once, and just take my own time to be like, you know what, I'm gonna focus on doing this song, you know, these songs. I'm gonna smash out of the park. I'm gonna do it for myself, you know. And yeah, I was really excited to do it, and it felt really fun to do in the moment, but not while I had a cold. So yeah, basically one of the rough things was that basically for the whole runtime of the show, I had a cold. So I was on about, like, 6 different, like, things to try and help my voice. The kind of good thing to come out of it was that this part housing sucks, by the way. This is such a bad housing. Was that I didn't bottle any of the big main stuff. There were a few, like, shorter things that I did bottle, though. We did a song from Les Mis, and in one of the oh my god, why all these housing suck? In one of the show nights, my voice, like, went. Like, a lot of Les Mis is, like, spoken and sung, so it's quite low. and my voice like went like midway through me speaking on the live show, and like I almost like lost it entirely and just like left, bro. But I recovered it. All the big notes, the heavy hitting notes, landed every night, and I was really happy with that. The main song, Who I'd Be, which is the one I uploaded, I smashed out the park. At least on 2 of the nights, the other 2 I did all the big notes, so I was proud of myself for that. I'm not like super proud of myself for it, because I don't know, just something about it is like, I don't know, and we'll get into that more. But I'm really happy that I was able to do that, and I kind of proved to myself that I do have something, you know, that a lot of the stuff I quite often get like trampled on in like, I don't really have a certain thing that I'm like good at that people will like recognize or like appreciate, and it, at least in my past, like I very much got put down and kind of drilled into me that I don't have that sort of thing. So I'm trying to kind of get my confidence built back up with that, and try and find something for me that, you know, I can kind of appreciate, something that's more tangible, because I do think that, it sounds stupid to say, but we've, you know me at this point, that kind of one of my best attributes is kind of my heart, but it's like, it's the most like untangible thing ever, and it can be like really, when you're down, that just knowing that or hearing that, like, it doesn't really help. So yeah, but yeah, let's get into the more interesting things. So obviously we had to summarize the rest of the week sort of thing. This weekend we had 2 Minecraft events. It was a lot of fun. I returned to Blow Wars Origins and Biome Battle 2. Blow Wars Origins was fun. I did enjoy it. I'm definitely going to be signing up again. But I do think that was partly because of the roster. So I really hope that the roster, I get blessed with the game roster again, because not having to play Trailblazers was great. But Race was awful. But yeah, we'll see. Also Biome Battle 2, which was a lot of fun. Unfortunately, some bad stuff happened during it that was to no fault of anybody playing or the organisers, which was really sad. I'm going to be honest, the fact that things like that happened, but I've been in contact with the team to try and help them as much as I physically can, to try and negate that from happening again. And it's looking good, it's looking up, so really positive, looking forward for future, I hope that skin isn't what I think is, for future Biome Battle stuff. But yeah, that was really fun. Other than that, I mean, other than show stuff, what I've been doing a lot of is I've been playing a lot of Mass Effect. I can't remember if I mentioned this in previous ones. I think I might have vaguely mentioned it, but I love that series, man. I completed it in August, and then I started playing through it all again, and I've almost completed it again. Like, it is, something about that game and that universe is so special, and I can't believe it's been so long of my life without playing that game. Like, the characterization, the story, is the whole package, the amount of choices that you can make, the way that every player's experience of the game is different, is fantastic, and I've really been enjoying that so much. And it's been nice. I mean, I do enjoy the occasional single-player game that I can really invest in, and that's been one I've been able to invest in a lot, so much so that I've bought some merchandise that was expensive. But yeah, now let's move on to the interesting thing, the topic of today. You've probably seen give and take, right? So basically, long story short, this kind of was triggered on my birthday, which was in October. Give and take. I basically realized, and it was a really sad realization, that I, as a person, very much just kind of give and get things taken from, and I don't really get much of that back. I'll detail it more. I'm not just saying nobody ever does anything nice to me, because obviously that's not true, but yeah, that's kind of been the thought process for the last few weeks, the last months or so, was kind of a thing I realized. And it's sad, but it's also not really anything I can do anything about. But yeah, let me get into some details. Basically, I spent a lot of my life, I learned because I was very much an outcast. I still kind of feel like I am. The best way to have friends and have people care about you is to give them things that make them caring about you. So, like, I think part of the reason why I have, like, quite good traits, like, towards other people and are very caring is it's rooted in a sort of selfishness of, like, I have to give other people something in order to deserve to be friends with them, right? I have to earn it. So I've kind of been brought up, not by family, because I was really looking at my family, genuinely. Everybody has their flaws, of course, but, like, I would not be where I am without them. But I was very much brought up to be like, I have to be worth something to people in order for me to be worth something to them. Wait, that kind of doesn't make sense. You probably get that. Like, I have to be, like, worth something to, like, there has to be a reason for them to keep me around in order for me to have, like, care, right? And for them to want me to be around. So that's kind of the mentality I was brought up with, is, you know, not brought up on, but like society forced me. Like it sounds so stupid, but yeah. And I realize this. It's very much give, right? Like I am so used to giving, like I naturally will go out of my way to give things, like, and not like give as in like, oh here, have this £5 note, like more like what's the term? Metaphorically, like I will sacrifice something in myself to do something for other people. I will give to other people and kind of to my own detriment. That's kind of how I am. And I don't like dislike that trait inherently because it means I look out for people and that, you know, I care a lot, where other people I feel like don't, because I can quite often see that sort of upset in areas where like it resembles my past, and I can kind of be like, oh, hang on, you know, what would I've wanted in this scenario? Let me do that for them. But I kind of realize that's kind of how my life goes. And then the take part is a lot of it as well isn't just like I give, it's also like people just kind of take. In general, I think humans have a common thing to underappreciate. I'm guilty of it as well. And we'll get into that as another part of it. But yeah, it's very much like a lot of my life is give and take. A lot of my life is I go out of my way to give things to people. And I kind of sacrifice things to myself to give things to people. Or people just kind of take things from me. I don't really get much of the reverse. I don't tend to take things from people, at least not very consciously much at all, because it just feels wrong, and I feel like I don't deserve it, even when I most likely do. But I don't get given much from other people, and it's kind of a thing I realized, and I realized it because a really sad thing happened with my family. Basically, it was a very, like, you know when you have like the straw that broke the camel's back type thing. Basically, we're out in the shop or whatever, and like I was asked to pay for something, and I was like kind of annoyed about it because I was like, well, I'll just pay for this other thing, blah blah blah. And basically, my family got upset, and then I felt bad, and then they kept saying like, don't feel bad, even though like I had to feel bad because that was the reason why they felt bad. You know, what I mean, it's one of those like catch-22 situations. That's how I'll naturally feel bad because of that, even if they tell me not to feel bad, because the reality is, to me, has made them feel bad. So yeah, I was kind of in a weird situation, and I realized, wow, the reason why I'm so thankful for my family, well, many reasons, but one key thing is I noticed that my family is the only source in my life where I feel I can take and I can be given. And like that, they've been the only source of that for my entire life, where I've been able to take and not feel bad. I've been able to be like, oh, could you do this thing for me? Could you do, you know, and they've gone out of their way to give to me, you know, and I will forever appreciate that. But I kind of became this realization that I can't really recall much of when that's happened to me. And it sounds like I'm there, like, nobody ever does anything nice to me. I don't mean that. I just mean in general, I kind of realized my family is the only group that, like, I feel comfortable taking from, or that I get given from. And then that situation happened, and I felt really bad because that was kind of the wake-up call. Was like, oh, now I shouldn't even do that. Now I should feel guilty for taking at all or being given anything from them at all. And then, I know that's not the right mentality, but there's no right mentality for this situation, right? But then, you know, we move on to my birthday. And my birthday, I'm going to be honest, I hate my birthday. The reason why I hate my birthday is because I don't like asking for people to appreciate me. And all my birthday is people basically, in my eyes, and this is going to sound stupid, but bear with me, people showing that they actually don't take much of an interest or care into the stuff I do or care about. Basically, for my birthday, what happens is basically, nowadays, birthdays and Christmas, I only ever get presents from my family, which is understandable. This is, you know, different social stuff, whatever. It's not just that, but now every single birthday or Christmas is, okay, what would you like? And then I'm like, I don't know what. The whole point of something like that, giving somebody a gift, is to go out of your way to find something that they would like, you know, a surprise. And I know some people prefer, you know, to be asked and give something specific, but to me, I've always stressed it that I appreciate, like, you showing that you've gone out of your way to do something for me. And the reason why I say it like that is because when I've bought gifts, it sounds really like I'm on my high horse here, but I've not missed with a gift. that I bought somebody. Like, all the gifts that I bought my family, they've all really appreciated. And, like, I've gone out my way to, like, do bits of research. Even not even that long of research, right? To find something that they really enjoy. Or they'll mention something in a store. I'll write it down on a notepad. I'll remember for later. And birthdays and Christmas now, and for the last few years, have just kind of reminded me that no one does that for me. And obviously, I love my family, and, you know, it really hurt. And it kind of got brought back up this birthday. I mean, last Christmas, for example, I got 2 Lego sets, and I don't use Lego, and they were of Lego things that, like, I don't like that much either, and it sounds so ungrateful, and I do get that perspective, but it's like, the way, I hope you guys can kind of understand the way I'm framing it. It feels like I put a lot in, and it's kind of just a reminder of everything else, right? Oh, because I know my family does a lot for me. But it, you know, when birthdays and Christmas are a thing that everybody like celebrates, and you see everybody else being like, "Oh, I did this thing and that thing," and it's like, "Wow, that's cool." And then mine comes along, and it's just my sister's pestering me and being like, "I don't know what you want," and then they get me something, and then I like have to pretend that I can see them like grinning and being happy with themselves and like of what they bought me, and I don't have the heart to say it's like it's upsetting, because it shouldn't be upsetting, but like it is, because it's so complicated, and I sound so entitled, but the both those situations kind of just got me thinking on this give and take thing, and it kind of brings me to the last point, which is appreciating things. I realized that I also do struggle appreciating things. I don't mean in that vein, but I mean like in general, humans do struggle appreciating things, but because I have been brought up not being, like, given much, whenever somebody goes out of their way to give me something, or I get an opportunity or something, I just feel like I don't appreciate it enough. I don't know how to accept it. One thing that rings in my head of a moment that really meant a lot to me with my friends was back in 2022. Oh, this map sucks, man. Why did all the maps suck today? I was going through was it 2022? I feel like it was 2022. 2022? 2023? No, it must be 2020. Back at the start of 2023, I was going through a pretty tough breakup. I'm not going to specify things, but yeah, it wasn't great. It was really bad. If you know, you're one of my friends watching, you know. And it hurt a lot. And I was like, it's the one time people have seen me ever like fully just not be myself. Like in call, like my voice in calls, like you could hear that there was like something very wrong. Like I wasn't emotive. It was rough. But anyway, the reason why I mention this is because one of the things that stands out in my mind and always will is we went out, me, Deza, and a couple of other people. And as everybody's in the station and we're all about to go our separate ways, Deza opens his bag. His backpack that he'd been carrying around all day and hadn't used, right? He opens it and hands me a present. This thing in a rectangular box, right? And I was like, what's this? I was like, what's this joke? Like, Des is a funny guy. I was like, what's the punchline coming up here? Like, what is it? And he's like, no, open it. First of all, it had wrapping paper, which I still have somewhere, which was like the periodic table, but it was all like rude, like vulgar things, right? So I was like, Deza, what is this? And he's like, oh, I brought it for my like teacher once, and I realized I couldn't use it. I was like, bro, that's such a you story. I opened it, and he said it had a little like piece of paper attached to it that he printed off with a picture of John Pork, and on the other side was a little message from him and Morgan. Basically, Deza and Morgan knew I was struggling a lot, and they went out of their way, especially because they were they're not even financially well off, right? So that's not gonna. They went out of their way to buy this for me. It was the first ever Lego Ideas Sonic the Hedgehog set, right? Obviously, I know I just slated Lego, but there's a difference. If you know me, you know I love Sonic, and this was the only Sonic the Hedgehog Lego set that existed. It was like the Lego Ideas one. It's the Green Hill Zone one. You might have seen it in the background of my streams. It's right next to me right now. It was that, and I didn't know how to accept it, right? Like I was like, thank you. And I feel like I didn't appreciate that enough. And I feel like I've not spoken about how much I appreciate that enough. But that moment meant so much to me because I'm not sat here being like, man, I wish I got gifts more. I mean, everybody will wish they got gifts more, but I don't sit here thinking I deserve to get physical gifts all the time. But that was like the only time I can remember getting physically something where somebody went out of their way because they knew I was hurting to like do something special for me. And that meant so much to me. And it made me feel bad because I realized I didn't know how to accept it. I don't think I accepted it well. And it kind of reminds me of other situations where there's so many people I'm grateful for that have done really fantastic things for me. You know, example being like somebody like 5UP. 5UP's been really generous to me and kind of allowing me into the lobbies, the Among Us lobbies and that sort of stuff. And you know, giving me like priority pass and stuff like that. It's really meant a lot to me because it would be so easy to not do that, especially because unlike every other time in my life, I've not had to give something to get that or have something taken from me to get that. I have even Minecraft events, right, are a reminder of how much I get taken. It sounds so privileged, but I have been taken for granted, I feel, quite a bit in the event community and online in a sense. Not in the sense of, oh, I should be rich and famous. Oh my god, you guys should all love me and I should get thousands of views. I mean, like, behind the scenes stuff, the way, I've kind of briefly touched on it before, the kind of toxic underside of the way some content kind of stuff goes. I have been burnt unfairly, and I feel like I owe myself the right to say that. And so, everywhere I go that follows me, that take. And to have the small areas where it doesn't, it means a lot. And because it's so uncommon, well, it feels wrong saying that, but because it's not often, I feel like I don't know how to appreciate it. And I need to try and strive, and I'm trying my best to strive to appreciate those small moments when people do go out of their way for me and do give or don't just take and kind of realize and maybe just take a second and be like thankful and show thanks. There's a few people have done that. You know, I go out of my way quite a lot to look after people, and the few people that have, you know, gone out of the way to say kind things about me, even though they shouldn't have to go out of your way to do things like that. And I just really appreciate that. And like, if there's ever been situations where I feel like I'm the kind of person that gets talked about a lot behind their back badly, I don't know why. I just feel like that is probably how it is. I could be quite outspoken sometimes about topics. I could be quite I have a strong will. I'll stick to my guns a lot, mainly because of bringing up and that sort of thing. And so I feel like people will very much love to kind of antagonize me in situations, and I know there are people who do it. So that does kind of sit in my head and absorb my mind and think, well, everybody probably does it. So to have people that appreciate the stuff that I do means a lot. It's what I love about content and all the love and support I've got from all the stuff I've done. It's why I think I struggled more once I kind of stopped doing a lot of content and when the viewership numbers dropped, because activity overall dropped, and then you see less messages and you don't see doing content when you're not as big. It's harder to see the impact. And yeah, it really means a lot to me. Whenever I get anything like that, when people go out of the way to give or don't take or let me take, even though I won't ever really do that, but it's really special because I do spend a lot of my time, even if maybe it doesn't come across that way. I hope it does, but my mind is very much preoccupied all the time with everyone. So if I make a call that hurts someone, like I like to think that it is very, very uncommon that I will do that knowing that I'm hurting them without any reason. You know, I'll always try and be the one who's there and supportive. And yeah, I feel it's a weird topic, and I probably sound really... people will probably take this out of context and frame it negatively and stuff. But yeah, I really appreciate everybody who does go out of the way to do things for me in the content world. That's, you know, the people who treat me like them. You know, like I'm not... You know that I'm not below them. Anybody really who treats me like I'm not below them is infinitely respected. Like it's so common that kind of happens. Anybody who goes out of the way to do things for me, even if I'm sorry that I've not appreciated it, I really do. And like I say, hopefully you can kind of understand where my head is at with that. The reason why you might be thinking it's kind of hypocritical with the family thing, the reason why it's a bit different with the family thing when I pick up presents is because At least in my family, it's kind of like mandatory to get presents. Like it's always been like a mandatory thing. It's never been like a doing it. It feels like it's done because they have to do it, not because they want to do it. And anytime anybody can show me that want over have to is like, it means the world to me. And I hope it doesn't sound unappreciative. And I hope I've kind of helped you guys understand my thought and how much I do appreciate the people who do stick around and do appreciate all the content, even if you don't vocalize it, even if like that one viewer, I forget your name and I'm so sorry. There's that one viewer on my streams who's been subbed for like 2 years and I barely see like their name in chat. But like, thank you so much for supporting for as long as you have. Like, this applies to everybody as well, but specifically, like, how could you be donating to me for 24 months and like not one, like, wow, that is, thank you. And thank you to everybody who supports me and shows me that kindness and who respects me and kind of shows that care, especially if you do it when I'm not there. I feel like it's kind of a saying that you kind of know how people truly think about you when you're not there. I'll never know that, but I kind of went through a bit of thing where I was worried about how people think about me when I'm not there, and I was told that you never know how people truly think about you when you're not there because you're not there. And it's like true, but yeah. I'm going to stop rambling. Thank you so much. Sorry for the longer episode. But hopefully you guys will appreciate it because the lack of episodes recently. I'll be around from now for a bit more. I'll be streaming on Tuesday, the new Sonic game. Sonic has been my lifelong, like, love. It sounds stupid, maybe I shouldn't word it like that. So I'm going to live stream my first impression with the new game. I'm going to basically complete it in this one day because it's pretty short, I believe. And I'm going to face cam it, and hopefully you guys will join along that ride if you're interested. If not, that's completely fine. And then I'll also be in whatever events I can get into. We'll see how that goes. I'll try and do some little content-y things here and there. I'll see what kind of things I can put together. But thank you guys so much. Please don't hate me. And I really appreciate you all. And I'll see you all in the next one. Goodbye.